Welcome to The Real and the Woo. I'm your host, Lauri Stern. Join me as I invite experts and friends to discuss a range of topics, from the factual and practical to the mystical and magical. Consider this your virtual happy hour filled with lively, authentic, and meaningful conversations meant to inform, inspire, and ignite your curiosity. Whether you are very real or super woo, this podcast is just for you. Welcome to The Real and the Woo. This is your host, Lauri Stern, and I am here finally with my Pickle Crew because everybody out in, podcast land knows I have a Pickle Crew and it's all of you. So this is like the Brady Bunch. So please introduce yourselves one at a time. Stephie, go ahead.
I'm Stephie.
I'm Pam Udell.
And I'm Liz.
Well, welcome you guys. I'm so excited. And because we're here together instead of at happy hour, let's toast to each other for our first episode. Cheers. Salud. Love
Cheers.
You guys. Mm-hmm.
Cheers.
All right. So for everybody who's wondering why all of us are here together, and one day I will get the rig, and I talked to my producer about that, to get some sort of device where we can actually go sit at the same table. But I promise that the first few episodes of this show would be my guests who inspired the show. And in fact, without you guys, there would be no Real and Woo. And so I just have to thank you for the inspiration. It was in your pool, Stephie, last summer, I believe. We were, not playing pickle because it was too freaking hot. And I think that day we pretty much talked about bras for an hour. What's your favorite bra? Why do you like that bra? We shared, then we were rapidly texting back and forth, share that website with me and share this website with me. And of course, we talked about 55 other things. And just like I do when I get home, my husband will say, what'd you guys talk about? And I just have to laugh. I'm like, well, what the fuck didn't we talk about? Like in an hour, we really do solve our problems, the world's problems, and we get a good bra out of it, right? So, and so I just want to say, I know there's people out there that have groups of friends. I'm so grateful to have you guys. And I just wanted to kind of start us off with, again, why we're here, how I was inspired to do this. And I wanted to circle back to what we started talking about the other day, which was Stephie just had her high school reunion. You didn't take any pictures, and I was very upset about that.
I do have one screenshot now to show you, but
well, say who we really wanted a picture with.
I'm not saying it. I have a screenshot of it. So,
okay.
Yeah. So, we hold each other accountable for sure. I thought of you the other day, Pam, because I was in my car and I had a bra top on and some pants that weren't quite as high as my regular pants. And Pam has coined everything that you look at in the mirror and you're like, what the fuck is that? What the fuck is this? And I had this skin hanging out over here.
Yeah.
Like, God damn, Pam.
There's a what the fuck almost every day after the age of 50.
Probably sitting down. You have to stand up so it lengthens.
I never knew that, Liz.
Yeah.
And if you stand maybe with your arms over your head, that probably helps too.
Absolutely.
That's right.
As long as you're not upside down.
Next time people see us, they're going to be like,
why are they walking around with their arms up?
What's horrifying is getting a look at yourself like in a down dog. It's like,
yeah.
This is like,
yep. Shoulders.
Everything is like coming this way. I'm in my down dog and I'm like trying to suck it all back up. It doesn't.
I think it was your class, Pam, over COVID. You were teaching online and I was in this room practicing yoga and I was in my down dog and I had a hole in my yoga pants and I literally turned my screen off and I went to get my sewing box and I sewed up my pants while you were teaching because I couldn't deal with, first of all, I had a hole. Second of all, the skin was coming through.
Yeah.
And now I'm sort of a little intrigued by everything that you see on the Instagram, about crepey skin. I'm like, oh, I'm there. I'm right there.
Because we're talking about this now, we're going to get, and it just popped up on mine the other day because I must have been talking to someone about this, that tape that you put on your leg and then you pull it up and it literally pulls the skin of your leg up.
You were telling us about that.
I bought it like 2 years ago, remember? And I went walking to Starbucks and I thought, this is great. I'm walking and I'm looking down at my legs and they looked so good. And by the time I got to Starbucks, it was a really hot day. they basically sweat off. and, and I couldn't wear them. And I had to go home with bad. So on my way to Starbucks, I went with good looking legs. And on my way home, I went with bad looking legs.
People are going to wonder what you ordered that day.
Right.
You might get questions.
It does
that
work.
Girl
though.
looks,
You just
she
can't
looks
sweat.
so good before her coffee, and then she came back looking like 10 years older. So this is what we talk about. We talk about, booby tape and how to, like, Pam, you spent time telling us to take pictures holding.
Pulling.
Helps so much. I'm like this. I'm like, here I am. I'm like 58.
Yeah.
55,
Right.
Like, just this is like, oh, look at me. I'm 55. Oh, 50.
It's very little that they would have to.
It's just a tiny bit.
That's why I wear a tight bun. It pulls it all up.
Well, if you look at a lot of celebrities of a certain age, I think it is Candace Bergen that did the whole scarf thing. And was it Nora Ephron's book? I feel bad about my neck.
Yes.
It wasn't even until that book where I thought, why should I feel bad about my neck? And now that I'm of a certain age, I can see, and then of course we're talking about stuff that's universal for everyone and anybody looking at us. And actually, when we look at each other in our better days, we're like, we're doing okay. But it's these moments that we can commiserate with each other and we know, we're being very realistic and silly about it. And you can't do that to your face, Liz, because then we can all tell that you do it. And I won't let you do that.
Well, I'm not really going to have the screws put in because I'm too scared. But
I need screws in my head, but in other ways.
It would be so easy to just go.
I know.
Well, as you guys know, full disclosure, and I'm open about it.
Yeah.
So people listening won't know. So I've had 5 surgeries on my neck. And as I got older, my neck, as most people when they get older, not only was looking older, but then from all the scar tissue, it was crepey. So I went to my surgeon.
You had a lot of scar tissue, Pam.
Yeah, you did.
I know. And I said, can you just go like that? So you can even see here's one scar. There were 3 incisions here, 2 down here. So I said, can you just do that? And he said, the only way for me to do that is to give you a neck lift. And so I had a mini neck lift because he couldn't do it the real way because of all the scars and stuff. There was scar tissue. Right. I don't know. He talked to the surgeons from before, but it does make a difference. And even I wish I would have had him do more, but he definitely pulled a little and you definitely get a little lift.
Yeah.
It was just Novocaine. It was an 1.5 hour procedure, just Novocaine, and well worth it.
Right. Whatever floats your boat too. I mean, obviously medically, I had from my C-sections, you guys know, like I have an issue with my stomach and I say it talks and there's skin and I've had 4 kids. It's going to happen. But when you think about if this is a first world problem, I know. It just basically whatever makes you feel good, whether it's from the outside in or the inside out. And what I love about us is we recognize that, and it's our own path and it's what we do. And we can give each other shit about it and ask each other questions about it. Like I remember it wasn't such an easy decision for you. Like you're making it sound like it was so easy, Pam. But I remember you're like, should I, shouldn't I? He's saying he should do this or that. Yeah. We've all had stuff like that. And, and Liz, I know, I was going to ask you about the Prolon because I know, I have to make my disclaimer. This is not a medical show. This is a show for entertainment. Our opinions are our opinions. We are not doctors. Okay.
I think I am sometimes, though. As you all know.
We do too. Dr. Google. So I wanted to say, I was making my disclaimer. Because I was going to ask you, I know you've got some universal things that other people in the world do, i.e. like your RA or whatever. And I've been very fascinated to have you talk about your journey because I think it was Pam that introduced the Prolon. I don't know, but you've had real good success about that. And I wanted maybe you to share, because it was even maybe like a year ago. You were just about to go off some medication, I want to say. Do you want to talk about that? I think it would be fascinating.
Sure. So real quick, I've had autoimmune diseases probably for longer than I was diagnosed. I was diagnosed when I was 31 years old, and I'm 58. Autoimmune doesn't usually travel by itself. There's usually another. And recently, I don't know, 5-6 years ago, I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis. I'm doing really, really well. The beautiful thing is my body screams at me and it tells me when something's wrong. But then I do respond to medicine, and I'm very, very lucky. Both instances or 3 instances that I have of autoimmune, I do super well with. So when Pam introduced us to Prolon, I started really looking at it and listening to podcasts and listening to the doctors. And there's so many things out there that can crowd everything. Eat this, don't eat that, do this, don't take that. It's crazy. But the science behind this Prolon really interested me. So the first time, I think Stephie, Pam, and I did it. Lauri, for some reason, you couldn't do it then.
I'm sensitive to cashews.
Oh, yeah.
Said, oh, well, there's a lot in there. I was like clarity, energy. I loved it. I loved it. And then I did it another time. I did it. They say supposedly if you do it 3 times in a row, like 3 consecutive sessions, not, skip a month, do it again, that it really helps with autoimmune. I made it through 2 in a row, but it was hard to fit in with my schedule, especially during the summertime. You want to go out, you want to do things. So I just did 2. But long story short, so far, my C-reactive protein is way down. My inflammation is nil. And I don't know if it's because of this, but it obviously can't hurt. So I do enjoy doing it. It brings me back to center. Pam had mentioned that it's really a time that it's 5 days and you eat. It's really a time to carve out for yourself. And I do. I go for walks. I meditate. I just get a little bit into me. I don't have to worry about cooking for my family or doing anything else.
Or even sitting in your living room past 7 o'clock, right? You go right
yeah,
up.
yeah, I can do. Yeah, it's really. It's. I stopped drinking for 5 days. Oh my god. Just those things that I don't necessarily have the power to do on my own. This really helps me, and I do like it. It resets me most of the time, not all the time.
Thank you for sharing that. I wanted to say, it's conversations like this, right? So you're sharing your story, and there might be people out there who resonate with it, or they might say it's BS. Who cares? But the reason I love you guys is Pam is our teacher. Stephie and I went through teacher training with Pam, and we're so lucky that she is our friend as well. But your calling has always been to be a teacher. And so you went from, we connected with the aerobics instruction back in the 80s with the butt floss and the scrunchy socks, then to yoga. And then, you've spent 2 years now working on your functional medicine, nutrition.
Nutrition, yeah.
Right. So you'll be on the show just to talk about
nutrition,
that.
Yeah.
But you joke that, you're Dr. Google, but whenever we have a food question, you've already researched the hell out of it. And right?
She does all the hard work for us.
Exactly. And it is, and I know you're on TikTok, you're on Instagram, everything you post is nutrient dense and good for you. And you don't screw around. And so when it's almost like God's like Oprah, like, oh, it's like if Pam says eat Zen basil seeds, then we should eat Zen basil seeds. Even if you walk down the street and there's shit in your teeth,
Well, she's right. They have twice the benefit of a chia seed,
right?
Hands down. So why wouldn't you?
They're better bone healthy seeds than chia. Yeah,
they're right. Pam, why don't you tell us a little bit about your journey with the new part of your life? We can, or start wherever, but I just wanted to sort of have Liz talk about her journey, because without you, it wouldn't be her journey. Like, she would still be on her path for health, obviously, but I feel like because you found this program and you researched the fuck out of it, you were able to say, this guy's really, he knows what he's talking about and blah, blah. So it's stuff like that we share that we elevate each other. So you go.
Well, so I found Prolon. So during COVID, I was a little bored because I've always, as you guys know, taught yoga, workshops, teacher trainings, and I do love researching. I just love looking things up and researching. So I got a little bored during COVID, and I thought I'll get certified as a functional nutrition counselor. I found a phenomenal program with Andrea Nakayama and got certified as a functional nutrition counselor. It was a 10-month program. I ended up doing it really, I would say twice, but really probably 1.5 times, because it was so fascinating just learning about all of that. And I ended up during that, I don't think it was during that time, I was diagnosed with osteoporosis, which I was shocked. But I think I was diagnosed for multiple reasons. One being because I haven't had a thyroid since I was 16. And it's very common when you're on Synthroid for that long to get osteoporosis. But unbeknownst to me, my doctors really never talked to me about nutrition. So when I started doing all this research after my class, which is what I specialize in, is nutrition for osteoporosis, I came across Prolon, this Dr. Walter Longo, who's a doctor out of USC, and he's the head of the longevity program, I want to say, at USC. And they now use Prolon at hospitals. They've done a ton of clinical research with Prolon, with cancer patients, with autoimmune, with all these things. And they're finding really, really wonderful promise in this 5-day food fast. So they realized a lot of people can't do actual fasting. So they created this food fast. So you do get some. So that's how I found Prolon. And I thought, can't hurt. Why not give it a try? So I think I've done it maybe a total. I probably do it once a year, maybe now, probably once every 2 years. Maybe I haven't done it in a while, but I did. I agree with Liz. Like I feel really good doing it. It's just hard.
Yeah.
Because I like eating. And so, wow, I just have to, it's really hard. So, but I do feel great when I do it. And it's a wonderful reset.
Also, I don't like it when you guys do this. I like it for yourselves, but then we don't play pickle, although we'll play rummy, which is fine.
Mm-hmm. I've played pickle. The only time I haven't done it was when it was really, really, really hot.
Yeah.
Afternoon. I can do it in the morning.
Yeah, I know, I'm giving you shit. But you're right. When we do a reset of any kind, and I like to shy away from saying cleanse just because I think that's triggering for some people. But whatever brings you into a reset, you're not supposed to do hard workouts when you're doing some sort of reset and changing your diet. And you're supposed to do self-care. Stephie, when I take your yoga class, I think I quoted you to you, but you're like, I don't say that, but I swear in your class.
You said it in a Lauri way. You said exactly what I say in the Lauri way. You rhyme. I don't rhyme. You rhyme everything. So
no, but Stephie, I swear when you teach, you're like,
I say self-care is not a luxury; it's a necessity. At the end of class, self-care is not a luxury; it's a necessity. And you put it into a rhyme. What did you say? Self-care is healthcare.
Yeah,
which is the same thing, but you just Lauried it.
Wait, what did you say, Lauri?
I said she says self-care is healthcare.
I don't.
No.
Yeah.
I hear you.
So anyway, and you've done this program too, and you've all had great results with it. And then
what I like about it? It's very hard. I really like to eat 5 days without like sitting in the kitchen, and like that's hard for me. But I liked how I felt afterwards for a really long time. Like it doesn't, like you feel good during it, but even after, you can feel that it's still working, whatever it's doing, even though you're eating and drinking again, it lasts. I mean, obviously I haven't done it in a year, so that's gone, but at least for a few months, I could feel something. It felt different for some reason. Like I could just feel like less inflamed or something. I don't know. It was great.
The thing I guess, obviously maybe we're going to get a plug here from this company. I don't even know. But the reason I wanted to bring this kind of stuff up is the fact that we're very real about our challenges. Like Stephie, you can't eat gluten, right? And so, and that's universal for everybody. And so obviously I wouldn't have friends that just sit around and saying, oh, I'm fine, and pretend everything's fine when it's not. And I really like that we share our highs and our lows, and whatever is going on with us usually helps, if not all of us, at least one other of us. And it's that heartfelt sharing that we do so easily with each other that I really just want to honor. And, we have a hilarious time. I know we're not like giggling a ton right now, but, when we get to the lube section, maybe we will. But, I just really appreciate, you just people out there. I get texts from these ladies. I have to share, the Olympics are happening right now. And I don't think it's any secret that poor guy with the pole vaulter guy, that's gone around.
I wouldn't say he's a poor guy. I'd say doing okay. He may not have won a medal, but he's walking around with that thing.
That's right.
I think he skipped a step when you are preparing.
Got to tuck that under.
Get that shit up. I mean, just take care of it. Like, how do you not know that by now?
I don't know.
Listen, he's become famous. He's become famous for that.
Or like those things, I think it's usually, it comes from you, Liz, or it's Pam, because Pam's the queen of the April Fools. And like, you get really intense with your April Fools, like to that level without going into the combat gear. But like, when did your April Fools like obsession start for you?
It started, my dad's always been a huge joke. So it started probably junior high, high school, but then in college, for sure, here I would call my parents with something. And that's when it really, and then one of my college friends, Meryl, hi Meryl,
Hi, Meryl.
she and I every year we would plan months in advance. Like what, and my kids started getting into it. So, like, what are we going to do to Meryl this year? And you guys, and yeah, I just love it.
I know. Oh my God.
Remember Pam sending us a text, Lauri. Oh my God, I tore my ACL. I'm gonna need subs for 6 months.
Yeah.
And Lauri and I are like, we'll help you. We'll do whatever you.
Were you guys on the text chain when I said I thought I was pregnant?
Yes.
Yes.
Right. But the pregnancy one, I think it was when I was 50. And I sent that out. And my cousins, my sister, my aunt, everybody's telling me, first they're asking, do you want us to come over? Oh my God, are you freaking out? We'll help you raise the baby. I was driving and I had to pull over on the side of the road because I was laughing so hard, crying, because I didn't think anyone would believe me. I don't know if you guys were on that one. Did I include you on that one?
We were. I think you sent maybe chunks, like you sent that same text to some friends and same text
I think
to
I
family.
did my family, my sister, my cousins, all separate. They all believed me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally, she texted me 5 times.
Like there's no way I can tell something and keep a straight face. You can.
Yeah.
Well, it was all through text. It was, I think if I had talked on the phone, I would have started cracking up. But through text, I was like, nope, it's okay. I'm good. I'll call you later. Let me go tell Glenn.
All right. So, Liz, what's the funniest prank you've ever pulled on Danny?
I don't know. I'm not that funny. I don't know if I ever pulled something really funny on him.
Yeah, you are.
I have to think about. I'm sure I have.
Or anybody.
I had a very long-standing lie to Greg for months.
A long-standing lie? What was it?
So when we lived in New York City, our first apartment was the size of this laptop. Our bathroom was attached to our kitchen and our bedroom. I could have slept, brushed my teeth, and cooked something all at the same time. And I had this little makeup stand across from the toilet, and I accidentally hit it. And this little teeny brush went into the toilet as it was flushing. So I'm like, everything's fine. It's fine. We go to the bathroom and it would be little bits of toilet paper. And for months, Greg's like, this is ridiculous. And I'm like, so he's super pissed. The super keeps coming up and plunging and finally the super comes and takes the whole toilet out. And he comes marching back up the stairs with this little teeny brush and he goes, knock, knock, knock. And he goes,
oh God.
And I looked at Greg and I'm like,
oh no.
But I didn't want to tell him.
Oh no, that's really funny.
You did something from him. I'm not sure I'd call it a lie.
But I'm surprised that it lasted that long.
I did not fess up until the brush was handed. So,
Lauri, what is your funniest thing that you've done to Rick?
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. I'm like, they're going to ask me. And the only thing that comes to mind is if I get a little irritated with my husband, I'll steal his pillow and give him a different pillow. And then, and he doesn't always know it. He gets to bed and he buries his head under the pillows anyway.
Your silent revenge?
It's kind of, yeah. And he'll just try to go to sleep. And I'm just sitting there trying, I'm pretending to be asleep and he's punching this thing. And he's like, did you take my pillow? And I'm like, no. And now it's time for Joy on the Fives. Pam, what is joy in this moment for you? Or earlier from today when I asked you that question?
The first things that came to mind, I have a few. Family, but right now especially just because, as you guys know, Max is getting married. So my family and being so involved with them right now with all the wedding stuff. So that's bringing me a lot of joy. My friends, you guys always bring me joy. It's just so nice that we can do this. And teaching yoga is bringing me joy again. I took a break for a while over COVID and teaching again, just making other people feel good. I love that. And that's bringing me a lot of joy. And I brought this down too. I got this in Galena. This is bringing me joy. It's a really good oil that I'm loving.
What is it?
It's called Sweet Tobacco. And it is so delicious. And I normally don't wear perfumes. And this I love. So this is bringing me joy.
Oil is good. Oh, I can't wait to smell it.
So I know we're in our joy segment, but now I have to interject. And I'm going to get irate.
Uh-oh.
Did you buy one for each of us?
What?
Yeah.
No, because I didn't know I would love it as much. But I'll order online. I'll order it for you guys online.
So the listeners know that we get together so often. We're like, oh, look at that. And ooh, look at that. And I love that. And Lauri said, from now on, when somebody buys something cute, buy them for the class.
Yes.
Of us.
For the class.
He's not wrong.
You know what that makes me think of? Do you remember the scene, oh God, in Blazing Saddles when they were in line to do murdering and killing, and there was like one of the murderers didn't have enough gum for everyone. He's like, you're chewing gum out of line, and do you have gum for everyone? And then they murdered him because he didn't have gum for all the other murderers in the line.
I'll circle back. So 1 second. So the joy on the 5 segments different for this episode, just to share with the listeners. Usually I just ask on the spot, but because you guys were coming on, I had actually texted them before and I said, right now, while you're reading this, what is bringing you joy? And we're going to talk about it later. So Liz, why don't you go? And then Stephie, I'm going to circle back to you.
The first thing that I thought of was, so my daughter's coming in tomorrow. My kids will all be together. The family will be together. My brother-in-law's from London, so his family's coming in. And it's just going to be such a good time because Kate and John they're so delicious. They're lovely, loving people. What better way to celebrate? But the other thing is that it's you guys. You guys make me smile every day. I smile, I laugh, I giggle in my own head. And it's just, I'm so lucky to have my boardroom right here whenever I need you.
Oh, I love that boardroom.
I like that too. That's great, Liz.
Well done. Stephie.
So I agree with Liz. I'm so grateful to have you girls in my life. And I'm so grateful that we've established such a fun and easy and comfortable rapport with each other. I love that we can support each other and listen to each other and sometimes say things that we don't want to have to necessarily hear, but it's okay because whatever we're saying to each other is said out of love and respect. So I love that we have a real friendship, like real. And I'm so happy right now that I still have my youngest kid in my house for the rest of the summer. She's not going to be leaving till like December, which I'm sure she's ready to go now, but if I could just hold on to her ankles as long as possible, I will. Super grateful for my garden, which is gangbusters. You guys, I have way too much food right now. I mean, I know you get a lot of peer pressure for taking my vegetables, but I got some issues here.
I gotta interrupt you, Stephie, for 1 second. In the neighborhood, at least anyone I always tell people that between you and Erica, there's porn vegetables happening over there. Like you talk about the French diver, like what he's got in his pants. Your zucchini it's obscene. Like, I'm sorry.
You don't even know. I picked 2 yesterday. I was in the garden and I picked these giant zucchinis and I'm like, there was one little one. I'm like, all right, I'll go in a couple of days. I was out in the garden today. It was this big.
Sometimes things are too big.
Sometimes things are too big. I think the pole vaulter guy would say sometimes things are just too big.
Don't understand that.
Our boyfriends.
Yeah. I think the thing I read kind of to piggyback on what you're saying is I remember, I think it's women's track that the men were wearing like these long bike shorts, but the women, I just was watching some today, they're basically wearing bikini bottoms. And listen, some of them want to, whatever. But yeah, the fact that they're just so different is a little insane.
It's beach volleyball.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, did anybody else have an issue? Like, I think I saw it on the swim team and the gymnastics team. It's almost like the way they're decorated. It's like, hello, boobies. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes. The way that they designed the logo and everything is very.
It's
chesty.
almost like a muscle suit, like boobs, abs, but it's like on a woman that like I just don't think that's cool. Here's what you might not know about me. Speaking of men swimmers. So I'm old enough to remember Mark Spitz, and he won those 7 gold medals, right? I wrote a letter. I wrote a letter to him. Like I was like 7. I don't even know. Clearly by now people out there know like I'm a huge super fan of a lot of people and I'm not shy about it. But I wrote him a letter and I got a signed picture of him, that famous picture of him standing with those 7 medals like that, with his porn mustache.
Oh my God, I totally remember that picture.
Yeah.
Wasn't that the bicentennial swimsuit Speedos?
Yeah.
Wasn't that
Yeah, I
bicentennial?
got that picture. Yes, I think they were. Yeah. Yeah. So maybe I was 11 then or 12. I don't even know. Anyway, but yeah, I write letters to people and I get things back sometimes.
That's intensity, Lauri. You are an intense.
Yeah.
You have an intensity that I appreciate. I do not have. Like when you want something, you do it.
Thank you.
You're a go-getter. You're a go-getter.
Yeah, I'm a go-getter. Well, I have backup. Like if I didn't have my fly girls, I wouldn't be so bold, frankly.
I appreciate it, but am I fly?
It's your role.
Okay. Aside from that,
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to make sure I'm a fly girl.
I want to be a fly girl.
We're fly girls. We're fly. That's such an, I love that. And I also love Liz, like people can't see, but you know, Mary Catherine Gallagher, you know, my friend Barb knows I do this well, but like, you know, Stephie, like that with this, you have a tell when you're excited, you go like this with your hands, or you're like a little squirrely nuts. You're like, you're so excited about it. I love that.
Chef's kiss.
Uh-huh. Is there Italian in your family anywhere? Because that's like such an Italian thing to me that you do.
0.
Well, we like the Italian food. So, all right. Well, is there anything else we should talk about today? Because we'll be back again talking about.
Not talked about vaginas once.
Oh, no.
Well, what would you like to say?
I would like to come back because I feel like we just really scratched the surface of what we really, really can talk about. It's fluid, right? It's like you just never know where it's going to go. I think one time we should do it from the pool. Like one time we should do it from
a backyard or something.
It will be hard for sound. But I mean, when we are in our element and we cannot stop giggling, we cannot stop sharing, and we talk about super inappropriate stuff that I adore.
Like vaginas.
Like vaginas and penises. it's all I think Stephie said
Stephie.
My name is Stephie.
That's for another episode.
That's for another episode.
That's another episode.
But to your point, I am my self when I am with you girls.
Yes, I agree. Big hearts. Big hearts. Yeah. So we're going to leave the audience wanting more. We'll talk about vaginas and penises and other things later and why we say.
Did you see that?
I know, because you're on your iPad. You numbnut. You're like such an old lady with like, do you see the heart?
No. Yeah. No. Did you see the red hearts?
Yeah, we did.
How did that happen?
You did that in Arizona too. Remember we were zooming in Arizona for happy hour and she gave us thumbs up. And she's like,
that went on Pam's iPad.
Yeah, what else can I do?
Duplicate it.
You know what, Pam? It's just you. You're magic, and nobody else on the planet can do that with their device except for you. Make a thumbs up.
Thumbs up? It's not doing anything.
Oh,
no,
I don't know. It's your AI because it keeps going back and forth on your head.
Give a kiss. See if it'll give you a kiss. No.
just start doing all sorts of crazy things.
Why don't you lift up your shirt?
That was so cool. I wanted to do it again.
Yeah,
you're right. I just wanted to do something.
Oh,
there.
Up in the air, Junior Birdman. Up in the air, upside down. Up in the air, Junior Birdman. That's probably, you know what? That song is probably really inappropriate somehow now. That pisses me off. That one, I think it's from World War II, but I'm sure someone's going to say you can't sing that anymore.
Really?
What song?
It's what?
I always thought it was.
Oh, no. This one?
What song goes
No,
with your eyes?
I grew up singing that song. It's like a war
there
song.
it is again.
We're so glad you got
I
your
know how
heart
to do it
back.
now.
Oh, share with the
I
group.
think I just have to
Share.
hold in stillness. Hold on. See?
Oh, what happens if you go like that?
See, mine doesn't work.
Nope.
Oh,
Doesn't do anything.
Daddy's concerned.
You didn't hold it.
Okay.
I don't want to hold it.
Addie's-
Hi, Addie.
Oh, hi,
Addie's
Addie.
concerned.
Oh, Addie.
Addie's Liz's dog. We all have. Well, Pam, rest his soul. Cooper Scooper.
My dogs are not here for a very good reason.
Yes, they would eat. They would eat the screen. That's true.
If anybody knows of a GoPro for dogs, Stephie needs a GoPro.
We can
Oh my
talk
God.
about that another time.
Yes. We have so much
Okay.
more to talk about. Although, Lauri, I feel like next time when you get your voice box so we can all be in the same room, drop the mic.
Mama's
Drop the
got a
mic.
squeeze box. She wears on her
Drop the
chest
mic.
when Daddy comes up. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, we'll have a slumber party.
Yeah. We
Okay.
should do that, you guys. We should
Well,
get
we
a
do have
tent.
our times, but we never sleep in the
Wait,
same.
Pam went to 10.
We should
Pam
do a
went to
tent
10.
in Stephie's yard. So we
Oh
have
my
the pool,
God.
too, and then
literally
do s'mores and sleep in the tent. And we could totally do a podcast in the tent
That would be
because the
so
sound would be
Sorry.
good.
flipping
Yes.
fun. Let's do it.
Seriously.
I know that
Fine, but when I have to
This
pee,
is
are
like
you all
one of
gonna
those-
come with me?
And then
Sure.
like at 11 o'clock, we all go to our own beds.
No.
Yeah. But let me tell you something. It's like one of those things, like three of these things belong together. I'm doing Sesame Street
Uh-huh.
in my head because Pam, are you serious that you would sleep in a tent? I do not believe you
don't
for 1
either.
second.
Let me think about it. I think I would. With
In
you
my
guys, I
backyard?
would.
Or your
If
backyard.
we all slept in a tent and we brought some cushions and we went and bought nice, sleeping bags and good
Here we
pillows.
go. Oh, here we go.
Can
Yeah.
you hook up the
She's
AC?
gonna Pam it
Is
up.
the AC hooked up?
No, we'll do it like on a nice, cool
It has
night.
to be in the fall, late fall.
Because I can vouch for me. I'm sure Stephie and Liz have all shit in the woods, but I'm not sure Pam.
No.
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 Yeah.
I don't really prefer to. If I'm
I
close
mean,
enough
I
to my
could've-
bathroom, I would wait.
You're right, though, but I could have answered that for you. There's no.
No. But I have peed.
No.
I've peed in the
Well,
woods.
okay.
Julie, I have to shout out to Julie Echt.
Yes.
I could pee outside. I would always crawl back up like I never could do it. I'm telling you,
I know.
I don't know
Yeah.
what she pulls, but we have, yes, she has taught me
She's
to
good.
pee in 5 seconds.
Yep.
What does she do? Is she the pee whisperer?
When she was growing up, she went on her father's boat all the time. And so she's like, when you
Oh.
have to pee, you have to pee. I'm like, okay, I get it,
Yeah.
but it doesn't work for me.
Oh, she'll drop
And
Charlie.
I've been hanging out with her a lot, and she's like, I'm just
Yeah.
going to go do it. And now I'm able to just go do it.
We should have her on the show and talk about
Yeah.
places. I was just watching Below Deck. I think we talked about this at Happy Hour, but I was watching Below Deck and that Aisha, I love her. They just did a whole segment on where she's pooped because she'll go anywhere.
Mm.
Do you know that I have literally considered, like when I take the dogs in the wintertime for my 6-mile walk or whatever, and that takes so long, I've literally considered like, should I wear Depends? Because halfway through, I'm like, I got to pee. Like, and then I'm like, could I pee here? Could I pee there? What if someone walks by? Like I
Oh
spend
my God.
half of my walk
Question, but
thinking in my head where I can pee with my
the bigger question is, and I've peed on my hikes in Colorado, so you can pee in the snow. I don't know if I could pee in a Depends.
I don't know
Yeah.
if I could either. But like,
I think
I'm
I have a problem.
I'm like in Highland Park. I'm like, I'm not pulling my pants down if someone walks by.
Oh my God. Stop it.
Well, you know what? You'll make the
Wait,
blotter.
I'm getting a visualization right now of Stephie walking her dogs
too.
with Depends and me
With full
driving
pants.
by and rolling down my window to say hi and her
And I'm
being like,
peeing in my
hold
Depends. Hold on.
I'm just peeing.
I'm going like this.
Stephie,
Right, one second.
Oh my God.
Oh no. Gina Wendy have often said they because they go on these long bike rides and they talked about wearing
I
Depends on these
tell
long bike rides. I'm like,
Stop.
ew, and ew again.
Wow.
And then talk
No.
about vaginas.
Stop
and I go to the yeast infection.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're going to get a yeast infection. You can't sit in
No.
that
Stop and
stuff.
pull over, stop and pull over, stop and pull over.
Yeah.
I mean,
And on that note,
I can just see.
on
On that note, one of us is going to make the blotter for urinating in public.
that'll
I
be
can just see it coming now.
It'll definitely be me.
And it won't be Pam.
no, it will not.
No, I definitely have thought about it many, many, many times.
Yeah.
We're going to work on it.
It's
We're going to
bad.
work on it.
Yeah.
Find me a spot.
We'll work on
We're
that.
going to work on it.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're going to work.
All right. So usually this is where I say, if there's anything you guys want to leave in the show notes, but I'm going to leave professional things for the professional episodes. And just to say, I love and adore you guys. And, this is a vault that will remain open and available. And we'll be back again. I've already made notes for our next segment. But truly, I just want to say without you, there would be no Reel and Woo. And maybe some people are be like, well, I don't know why she thought that was a good idea. But truly, it is a good idea because to celebrate friendships like we have and to celebrate the conversations that we do have, whether they are very real or super woo and everything in between, it is such a gift that we share them with each other. And I know there's lots of girlfriend groups out there and lots of men friends, but I don't think guys rapid fire categories the way we can. I think females have a superpower that way. And, I talk about that on these shows too. And I think our superpower is holding space for lots of categories and holding space for each other. So to all of you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I love you so much.
I love you guys. So special. I love you guys, really.
Love you. And Lauri, you are amazing. We're
Yeah.
so happy to be able to be here with you. And I'm not kidding. It needs to be like a monthly gig for us.
Yeah, seriously.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're not done.
So proud of you. Love it.
I think none of us are going to say we can't have a drink together. So
Cheers, guys.
Oh, wait.
Love
Cheers. Cheers.
love you, girls.
it. Love you, Laurie. Good job.
Thank you. Love you all.
Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Love you.